the shame of our island. We've built this beautiful, beautiful city, or cities, or villages on our island, but we're still having the sewage outlets, polluting the beautiful ocean around our island. This is just not acceptable anymore. So let's go and fix it. We want to decommission these. So let's have a quick look into our water system. We're fine. We're producing currently sewage of 150,000 that needs to be treated. And we're actually still okay with water, but kind of running low. What will help both of these issues is actually a water treatment plan. And that's exactly what we're going to build. So let's go into our development points and first of all unlock it. Now I think I want to keep it somewhat in our industrial zone. Probably around here rather than there. And if we have a look how big they are, let's look at the regular one. It's massive. Doesn't actually seem to be that much difference between the Japanese version and the regular version. However, I think the regular version will be quite useful. So what I am thinking is we're gonna fill up this piece of land right here and unfortunately destroy some of these buildings, but that will give us enough space to actually place down our water treatment facility. And like I said, our island kind of desperately needs it. So let's go in here, flatten this out properly, and then we're gonna smooth over it like nothing ever happened. Let's see if that was enough. It was not quite. It's close, but not quite. So if we were to place it here, that would actually work. But instead, let's just move a little bit more of the soil out. Oh, out and in, I guess. To give us a bit more space to work with. And then, again, I'm gonna just smooth it out. Just like nothing ever happened. Alright, here we go. With that, we can actually place this without a problem. Could make it so that we only get rid of one building. But at the same time, yeah, you know what? Let's just get rid of both. We're not that desperate in terms of industry right now. And this way, oh, make sure it was actually the wrong one. Oh my. Now, the original one is actually, yeah, like I said, it's actually quite a bit bigger. But I think we'll still be able to kind of fit it in. Now, if we were to place it just there, it pushed out the area a little bit, but it is not too bad. And then we'll just go in, put a little alleyway in here and just turn that into the road at approximately a right angle. And of course, like usual, that just destroyed it all. Zoning in this game, I swear. Alright, let's see what we need to do over here. So both of you apparently disappear, which means we've lost 2 there, and I think we've lost 2 here. So let's just zone in 2 more, not the massive ones. We're gonna go by 2x2s, 2 more. And I think overall that will do. Now we could increase the water purification rate. In theory, we could also do this more, like add this one, although it's... See that size? We're never gonna... Bottom line though, If we look at the sewage treatment, we're producing about 150,000. Now we can treat 440,000, which means we can very easily just destroy those two buildings. And with that, that blemish will slowly disappear. All right. I think it would also be okay, just thinking a little bit ahead of the submission, if we're smoothing this out a bit more. And again, smooth this part out a bit more, just so it looks a little bit nicer. All right, here we go. Now this is sorted. The next thing that I want to build today is actually one of the sort of hidden Easter eggs on this map. If you zoom close enough in here, there's a linden tree and a bike rack underneath the linden tree. So I want to make something out of this area. I think we'll leave it as is, but if we look at the terrain, we can relatively easily put another park up here and maybe a camping ground somewhere, like up here as well. So let's have a quick look at our campground size. And of course it's huge because everything in this game that's vanilla is just huge. All right. Where could we possibly place it? Now I kind of wouldn't mind it being placed here, but I'm a bit worried that this will just get completely destroyed. I love that hut there. Oh my goodness, look at the angle. Ah. This is why I really want park life in this game. Alright, so kind of destroyed it all. Ooh. So let's think of what else we can do. I guess even if we're not placing down a park, right? We can turn this overall into a spot where people would want to go. So let's go ahead, flatten the top a little bit out, which gives us a bit more building space, and we now just need to find a way to actually get up here. And I'm thinking if we can parallel this quite busy road, to be honest, we might be able to get up here and then swing around this way. Could even put our camping ground maybe down here and then keep like winding our way up until we're all the way up. So let's give that a try. And no, I have not tried this before attempting what I'm trying to attempt right now. So this might all go horribly, horribly wrong. Alright, so overall that one was not too bad. We also need to somehow... Oh, we can actually connect it up here. I like that. We're gonna move over this way. And then just make sure we smooth out some of these rough edges that we have created here. So it's not quite as extreme. Now we can easily put a path up here. From there, we would want to slope up this way. And I guess it is a pedestrian path that I'm trying to plant. Actually, is it? Because doesn't the campground say it actually needs access to the road? Okay, we're gonna try that in a second. It did, didn't it? Okay, so we need actually to put a road up here. which I guess we can do if we flatten this area out a bit more. So let's go ahead and do so. Oop, didn't mean to do that. We wanted to smooth it out. Right, let's also move all of this over here a bit more. And now let's have a look at our campground, if it will actually fit in there. Not quite yet. So I am thinking, instead of keeping it up here, we're moving it down to this area right there. It might just give us the extra space that we would need. And considering we're gonna need to go down anyways, it might just cover the rest or help us make that connection in the long run. All right, finally the night is over too. I appreciate that. Night cycles are a bit annoying, especially when you're trying to build on a timer. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Night hasn't disappeared, it just started. Excellent. So like usual, we're building in the dark. Wonder if you guys can even see anything. All right. So with that in, we need a road up here. And I think an additional parking lot, a small one at least, would probably be nice. So let's have a look in here. There's a small one that we can actually put in. The modest is a little bit too big. But if we place this here, and then we can place another one here, overall, that gives us plenty of parking in this area, which will help us connect all of this up. Right, moving this part out a bit more, although this probably needs to go a little bit further back if we want to make sure our hiking trail is actually able to bypass the camping ground. All right, so all we need to do now is to go from here, from up there, down to this area. Actually, just down here. All right, looking a lot more realistic for us to do. All right, while I'm connecting this up, I'm just gonna shut up. Alright, quick pause. Somebody just came up here, parked, and it's just hanging out? Where are you guys walking to? Oh. What's your destination? Really? Oh my goodness, the parking down here is full. Oh, I'd almost thought it would crash. So we need to sort out some parking down here because they are parking all the way up here. Basically head downtown. Crazy. Alright, but that is not the main mission right now. So we're just gonna make sure this is connected up, and then we can always still smooth stuff out afterwards. Alright, well, I would love to build this. I'm not gonna. Really? How often have you seen a tornado in Italy? I guess the game doesn't know it's Italy. But still. It's uncanny how often a tornado is coming up. Alright, so in the meantime, let's try to figure out some more parking downtown. We do have the underground parking garage, which has space for 200 vehicles. This is 300. This is 300. This is 135. Now, where would we place some? There's technically still available parking over here. Oh, I think that's the high density stuff. Very cool. All right, so where would we place some parking? Maybe we need to move that park. Where to move the park? We could technically, I think, place some parking over here. All right, let's have a look. What do we have as options? The underground. And I don't quite understand why it doesn't actually say how much parking each of these gives. I'd love to place this, but we don't have space for it. The underground is also just quite massive. So we could place more of the parking garages. The question is, where are we gonna place them? So all of these are parks. And I kind of don't want to get rid of our parks. What if we were to flatten out a little area up? Like it up here either. Maybe I'm too picky. We could cut down here a little bit. I guess technically we had flattened a little area here. What we can definitely do is actually add a bit of parking next to the cemetery, which would make sense anyways. So let's go ahead and definitely do that. But that would be more of a... Ooh, not that. Yeah, not that either. Oh yeah, they all... there we go. I guess I had this road in a little bit crooked. What if we stop the snapping? Put it over this way. Really? All right, here we go. Now this is functional. Adds a little bit of parking, but I don't think it would solve the problem over here. I am wondering, can we actually sneak in another underground parking garage? How much does this actually offer? Just want to see what the capacity is. Don't want to place it anywhere because it will completely ruin the landscape, the terraforming in that area. Oh, how about there? Now this has space for 42. That's like nothing. All right, so you're out. Unfortunately, I need to replace the palm trees that we have. I think it's these. And then a couple more oak trees. All right. So, yes, we're having a parking issue over here. But I don't know how to solve it. We could technically place it next to the nightclub. And maybe that makes the most sense. I love the automatic one. Look how big it is. What we can do though is we could destroy a few of these buildings. I think we could get away with just 3 of them if we are going to flatten out this part right here. And then let's move in there. Yes, I will take a hit of 3. Okay, we're a huge city now. Very cool. I think that was a theater. I accidentally clicked it away before it finished. And overall with that, I think we'll be okay. So this way at least we have a little bit more parking in this corner. Alright, with the daylight in though, what I really want to do, really want to focus on is what we set out to do. And that is managing a path up to this area. So we can kind of, again, make that thing. Yeah, that's not happening. All right, let me give this a try. I'm gonna connect this up and then I will be back right after. All right, it took us basically the full day, but we have the connection in now. And I cleaned it up a little bit. I don't think these retention walls make a ton of sense here. So just like that. And with that, our hiking path to the hilltop is basically done. Now, I was thinking it would have been kind of fun. Oh, look at that. Round office. Interesting. Anyways, sorry. Got sidetracked. It would have been kind of fun to place one of our observation towers. They're in here. Like one of the... Yeah, obviously not that one. but maybe one of these up here. But I don't think we'll actually make this work. Especially because it does need a road access, and we're definitely not going to have road access up here. So instead, let's go ahead and create a little recreational area. Just making sure all of this up here is flat, and yes it is. So let's go ahead and place some things down. And we have another tornado. Of course we do. Because that's what apparently happens all the time. Oh boy. But apparently nothing was destroyed. I'm surprised. Quite a little bit of car accidents apparently going on. But not much we can do about that. And with that, I think we've kind of completed it. Although I do feel like I want to put one of these stone faces somewhere up here. It would be a great photo op, to be honest. Alright. With that, I think we have decorated around up here enough. This way the linden and the bike rack are not just out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, technically they still are. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Alright. Nope, a bit too far. And I feel like I really need to let this go. Because otherwise I'll be spending here quite a bit of time. Alright. Now, that looks just awesome for contemplation. That same thing, actually. Oh, just a little bit of bumpy. Okay, let's remove that too. And you know what? Let's just remove 2 more of these. Don't want to have too many up here. Why is there another tornado? Isn't that number 3 in this one episode? Anyways, camping ground, a little bit of a hiking spot for an overlook. I think with that we are doing pretty okay. In the meantime, let's have a look into our parking garage. It's not overfilled anymore. This one still is, this one is, and this one is. But at least there's a little bit of extra parking. Alright. With that, I am going to end the episode for today. And instead of a city tour, we're just gonna chill and look a little bit over our city. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.